The helicopter, an innovation of flight technology, the first form of vertical flight. Ever since the creation of the acclaimed aircraft, warfare and transportation was changed forever. It all began with an idea of one man, Igor Sikorsky. Sikorsky was born in Kiev, Ukraine in 1889, the youngest of 5 children. He later moved to Germany with his father, where he was raised for some time of his youth. However, he did later return to Ukraine. By age 20, he had already moved to France to study in the field of aeronautics. After 10 years, he began to study the concept of vertical flight. He was about to create something that would change the course of history forever. The VS-300, also known as the Sikorsky helicopter. This flying boat was a unique invention, which included a main rotor, which was used to support the body's weight, and the tail rotor, to support the tail, enabling the helicopter to stay still without spinning. This simple aircraft had a single engine, as well as a 3-blade rotor. He had a creation to be reckoned with. In 1919, he traveled to the United States. He received a job as an educator and started creating new aircraft, such as planes. In 1923, he created the Sikorsky Manufacturing Company, later to be known as Sikorsky Enterprises. He would finally create his idea, the flying boat. This creation was test-flown on September 14, 1939, but required tethering, as it was severely unstable. This new aircraft was later flown in Stratford, Connecticut on May 6, 1941. It achieved the world record for helicopter endurance at 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. The VS-300, originally designed for open areas, has a 14-foot blade radius, providing plenty of lift for the heavy metal frame. After this original flight, thousands of improvements were made to the design to improve the flight condition. This new type of flight was the beginning of a revolution. Simultaneously, during the creation of the VS-300, another helicopter was being made for a completely different purpose. The XR-4, also known as the R-4, was to be one of the first helicopters to see military service. This helicopter could hold its ground. Production was started in 1909, but did not reach its fruition until 1939. It was a helicopter with a single rotor configuration. Its initial flight was on the 13th of January 1942. The helicopter was later accepted by the United States military on May 30th, 1942. This helicopter was primarily used for transporting higher-ranking officers, as well as other officials. It was used for search and rescue missions, as well as transporting parts. The first official to possess one of these aircraft was Colonel Franklin Gregory, a member of the United States military. Despite all the success involved in this helicopter, it still suffered several technical difficulties. They were eventually resolved, however, and the XR-4 became a statement, proving aircraft could save lives. This eventually opened doors for helicopters to become war machines. Rescue missions could be achieved more easily than ever before. In 1943, the VS-300 was retired to the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan, and has remained there since then. Sikorsky did a great work for this world. Luckily, his work did not go unrecognized. He was showered with awards for his astounding creations. In 1966, Sikorsky was awarded with the National Aeronautic Association's Wright Brothers Memorial Trophy for his significant public service of creating value in aviation for the United States. He was later awarded, in 1968, with the John Fritz Medal from the American Association of Engineering Societies for his scientific and industrial achievement. The ASME Medal was presented to him by the Society for Eminently Distinguished Engineering Achievement in 1963. He rightfully earned each and every one of his awards. Sikorsky made an extremely great impact in the world of aviation. Perhaps the most useful invention of Sikorsky's was the tail rotor. Without this useful piece of equipment, some aircrafts would just spin throughout the air instead of being stable. Igor Sikorsky is most known for his invention of the VS-300. This helicopter took flight to aviation's next cornerstone in history. The XR-4 left an indentation on ideas forever. Not only was this plane revolutionary in the field of flight, but war tactics were changed forever. Sadly, these were his last creations. Igor died on October 26, 1972. He was buried in St. John the Baptist Greek Catholic Cemetery in Stratford, Connecticut. The Sikorsky Memorial Bridge was built in his memory and carries the Merritt Parkway across the Housatonic River. Sikorsky was truly a remarkable man who impacted the world of aviation. Even though Sikorsky failed at his creations many times, he never gave up on the idea of creating another aircraft. Without the invention of the XR-4 and the VS-300, the modern world of aviation would not be as advanced as it is today. Our minds have always been wrapped around the concept of staying on the ground. We've always wanted to soar in the sky. Sikorsky gave us the tools to make that concept very true. All we needed to do was take flight.